Hi, kids. Okay, on this day in film history for September 5th, let's start with 1916 is the release of Intolerance, D.W. Griffith film. It's his response to the claims, the very valid claims, that Birth of a Nation, his big smash hit that was the highest grossing film until Gone with the Wind, which is also about the Civil War, which has also got some stuff going on. Uh, but his response to you made the KKK the heroes, and you made them look good, and you promoted the KKK was, I'm not intolerant. You're intolerant. He sounded like that. Take my word for it. Don't go look it up. That's how he sounds like. So, neither of you, not a good guy. Intolerance. Birth of the Nation. They're not the first. They're not the best. They're not responsible. They're not anything. Anyone says that doesn't know what they're talking about, right? So forget Intolerance. I didn't mention it. Let's not mention it. That's the point. 1902 is the birth of Darryl F. Zanuck, producer, executive. He died in 1979 at the age of 77 of pneumonia. He's one of the co-founders of 20th Century Fox, prolific mogul, but also known for one of the founders of the Casting Couch. So maybe Darryl Zanuck and Intolerance belong together. Let's move on to someone who doesn't belong with those people. 1914 is the birth of Stuart Freeborn, British born, Freeborn, makeup artist. First uncredited work is in The Thief of Baghdad in 1940. Credited work is 1948, Oliver Twist. He also did the makeup for Bridge on the River Kwai. He did the makeup for the original Star Wars trilogy. The look of Yoda is modeled off of his own face. It's Yoda and Einstein. If you're a Star Wars fan, you knew that. He also did makeup for Superman 1, 2, 3, and 4, because those are all great. Anyways, let's go to birth. 1951 is the birth of Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton was born Michael Douglas, but by the time he got around to his screen credits, there was already some other guy named Michael Douglas, which is funny because Michael Douglas's birth name isn't Michael Douglas. So, anyways, Michael Douglas had to go by Michael Keaton because he is 72 years old today, the Michael Douglas Keaton. Started out early in his career as a stand-up. He was a comedian. He worked on Mr. Rogers as a production assistant, also appeared on screen as an actor. And yeah, I think modern audiences maybe are not aware of Michael Keaton's comedy background, right? Mr. Mom, Johnny Dangerously, and then of course from Beetlejuice, Tim Burton makes him Batman, which people were very upset about. Every time there's a new Batman announcement, people were very upset about it, like it's never happened before. They've always been wrong. And then resurgence of late, Spotlight, Birdman, Michael Keaton's. They backed up the truck full of cash for the Flash. Okay, let's do 1995 is the death of John Magna. He died, he's 42 years old. He died of AIDS. John Magna was a homosexual actor. He was gay. He's most famous for portraying Dill in To Kill a Mockingbird. The character of Dill, Harper Lee, based on her friendship growing up with Truman Capote. So, Dill, when you watch, you didn't know that, Kill a Mockingbird, just pretend that's Truman Capote. He was born in 1952. His half sister is Connie Stevens. She was married to Eddie Fisher, wasn't she? He also appears in Hush Hush Sweet Charlotte, that I think I mentioned for a bit in my camp video series, and in Godfather 2, he plays a young Hyman Roth. Okay, and then last 1953 is the death of Francis Ford. No Coppola, just Francis Ford. Francis Ford is the older brother of director John Ford. He was born in 1881. He was an actor and a director and a producer. Moved to Hollywood, started making films about 1912 that he would direct them and cast himself quite often in the lead. Later on in his career, especially when John's career kind of comes in and overtakes his, um, he was mostly used as a character actor. Sometimes John would misuse him in his films. A little bit of a brother relationship there. He also plays Hans in James Whale's 1931 Frankenstein. Anyways, Francis Ford, no Coppola. Try to type that in, and the internet always wants to add the Coppola on there. No Coppola. Okay. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow.